Yeah.
Greg's here.
Well, hello! Welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist. Joined with Hubcap.
Hubby?
Oops, sorry. It's the last live of the year. I get to mess up. This is New Year's Eve. Alrighty, so we are going to talk about why I don't use outlines for my realistic burning. If you're doing comic strips or a comic or any kind of styled piece like that, or lettering, well, that's a little different. But for realism, if you want it to look real, you need to skip on the outlines as much as possible. So what you're seeing up on the screen right now is, this is my very first burning 20 years ago. And this is my second burning 20 years ago in January. This one's on Ponderosa Pine, that's why the blue strip. And it's the one and only time I ever used somebody else's pattern. But this is my first one, and you can see all the outlines going around. Let's real quick say hi to Gila. Oh, I hope you're feeling better, hon. Spence, Greg, Burl, and as more comes in, we'll say hello. So you can see with these outlines, I was using a craft burner. I'd never burned before. Actually, I'd never even heard of wood burning. I was walking through a big box craft store that starts with an M, and as I was picking out drawing material and wandering around the store, I went into their wood section, saw a picture on the craft burner of a clock, and I was like, you can burn wood. Let's give it a try. So I bought the non-variable, so I couldn't adjust the heat, craft burner, and this piece of basswood right here, and went home. Had no idea how to get a picture on the wood, but luckily, because I was already an artist doing drawing, I had an idea of using my pencils smeared across the back of this photo that I found, having no idea about copyright, and I cannot find the original photo. I've looked to redo this piece, but I can't find it anywhere. I'm gonna have to make up my own. Smeared all kinds of carbon on the graphite on the back of my paper, transferred the lines, and then had to figure out, one, how to burn. I had no idea about sanding. Luckily, the wood was at 2. I'll get to it, Burl. Burl says, elephants with no feet. There's a reason. So, I'll say why. I promise. Worried about my transfer lines going away, I outlined those lines. I went over each one of those lines in order to, in my head, keep from losing them. And then use dots for shading. The reason they don't have any lines and there's gray is in the photo they were kicking up dust, so I couldn't, and dirt, and I couldn't clearly see their feet. So I didn't put their feet in because I couldn't clearly see them. And the gray on this piece, for the dirt, is an oil pastel. So that's how I smeared the oil pastel into the wood to make it look like they're kicking up dirt. So that's why they have no feet, because I couldn't see the feet, and having never burned before, had no idea how to handle anything. Like anything. I did buy I bought one wood burning book, Sue Walters, which is where this pattern came from. Did some reading. Had and then gave this a try. This is also outlined because, again, I was worried about losing my lines and getting off on the burn. So I wood burned, and you can see it along the outside of the body and up into the hair. I don't have this wood burn, so I can't pull it out for you. I just have this old photo of it. But it's outlined all the way around. And then, of course, all the feathers inside. I didn't know better. So that is the two examples I wanted to show you. I didn't actually stop outlining. So this is December of 2025. I'm sorry, December of 05. And this is 06, within 6 months of this one, because I had other things going on, so I can't give you an exact date. I just dropped the ball. Spence says he always loses his lines. Well, we'll discuss. So from 05 to 2011, every single piece I did is outlined. As I burned more and got more comfortable with it, I did learn to, and bought my first wire tip wood burner, which was my nibs burner. I actually lowered the heat, like a lot, to outline and then erase and burn. Unfortunately, because this is so big, it's really hard to see things. So I'm going to pop off when I find it. This one. And this one. And we get to this one. Which, so this is, by the time it's done in 2026. This is going to be 15 years after I started burning. And I hope you can see the difference. And that was the main thing I wanted to do with this, is to show you the difference between burning with and without outlines. Man, Roxy is just going to be a tool today.
Can you guys hear her?
Can you hear Roxy in the background barking? I hope not.
I could probably bring her in.
Yeah, but then the other two get mad because they didn't get to come in. So as we wait to see chat, if you guys can hear Roxy.
Spence says commercials should be outlawed in lives.
I'm sorry. I have them turned on. It's the only way I can get YouTube to promote any of the lives when they're public, so that more people can see them. So I will own it. They're on because I have them turned on. So what I'm going to do, remember, make sure your tip is clean before you get started, even if it's just a couple of swipes on a leather strap with aluminum oxide. Mine is powder. This is plenty of aluminum oxide that you won't have to reload for quite some time. I haven't reloaded in, I think, a year. Run your nail over the tip. See if you feel any resistance. If you do, that's carbon. You want to wipe it off. And then wipe it on a clear area. Check with your nail again. If you don't feel anything, you're good to go. Sometimes you have to do a little bit more, especially if you're burning dark. Only use the heat setting that you need, and that'll be less of a problem. If you see discoloration on your tip, that tends to be oxide, except for the Chinese. Well, even on the Chinese tips, you can build up an oxide layer. Oxide is stronger than carbon, and you want the oxide layer to help move your pen across the wood. I only use Optima. Let's see, what are we going to use? We are going to use, because I'm going to darken up this background as we talk, because there's areas, if you look in here, that's much darker that allows these flowers to pop out. If you're having a problem, Burl, yeah, they can dry out. If you're having a problem rubbing your aluminum oxide like brick cube on your strop, you could take some rough sandpaper and rub it on this not your pen, the aluminum oxide block, and then dump that onto the remnants of you rubbing on the sandpaper onto the strop and use it that way. Never use sandpaper, Brillo pad, the back of a strainer on your wire tips, preferably on any of your tips, but definitely on your wire tips, because you will distort them, reshape them, and gouge them. And then you gotta buy new ones. So it's a waste of money to use sandpaper. Alright. I'm coming down here, that's why I dropped my chair.
Okay. So they were barking at, Roxy was barking at the neighbor's yard.
Ah, okay.
I pulled them in. So hopefully they'll quiet now.
So there is still a little graphite of my lines here. I'm not worried about it. If you really, really need to burn your lines, I highly recommend turning your heat down as much as possible. Even if it just means, let me see, this is a big piece of wood. When you turn your wood, you can, let me find an area. I'm trying to find one. You can see where there's burnishing from where you've already lightly burned an area. You'll notice there's a shine, and that's a burnishing, and it's hard for me to show on this.
Spence says he thinks that pressing too hard wrecks the tips as well.
Oh, absolutely, especially at higher heat.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get a shine on a light burn somewhere. So you see, when light bounces off an area of wood that's sanded but not burned, it's matte. But when you burn, you burnish the wood. I'm trying to find a light area where I've done this. This is not an example. What else we got? I don't have anything at arm's reach to grab, but when you burn lightly on the wood, let's see. I'm gonna go right in here, touch down an area I've already burned. And I need to darken this area anyway. So I'm going to start darkening it. Even lighter than what I'm doing right now will make it so much easier for you to hide outlines. And I will say that when I look at another person's wood burning, the first thing I do is look for lines. That's the very first thing I do. You can hide those lines in your burning. You just need to get good at much lower temperature if that's the only way you feel comfortable. Like right here, I didn't burn the line of the tree. I burned up to the line. That way when I go to erase, I have my shape. Which can be harder where there's light areas. So let's pick a light area. So these are white flowers down here. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit more for you. See, this is where I need to be able to go lower in my chair. Because I'm like right I'm as far down as I can get, but I'm having to slide down so I can get down in this lower area. I would normally flip the wood, but I guess for now I'm going to stand on my head.
Why?
So that I can get into the position.
Sheila says, glad you're better. Oh, me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm going around the graphite. This is a white flower. And although white does have some burning, because these are blurry and just not very well defined, I'm not going to shade too much. I'm going to use my negative burning for the background to shape these flowers, and then I'll go back in with white pan pastel to shape them. Because if I lay too much white down now, it can be too easy to burn over that white, which creates a gray burn, and I don't want that. So I'm just going in between, but this is where I really need to work. Again, I can see really light graphite. I have done some erasing and wiped down with denatured alcohol, but it needs more. But this does need to go darker so that I can darken this tree. Well, now she's in the house barking at us.
I'll give her a second and I'll go out and get her.
She just needs to lay down, but she is one tenacious dog.
I don't want her chewing up the wall, though.
I know. If you can bring her in without the other two, because Reva's just going to get crazy, she'll lay down. She's just mad she's not part of this. So right up against the graphite. So I don't even have to outline. Just go right up against. And that starts giving me more shape. I know it's pretty light still. So I was burning at 3 with 18 small. I'm going to go up to 3.5. Now they're just going to all get mad. I can do smaller strokes and slow down my pen to darken. But I need to keep it soft, because these are all the white part of the flowers. And then we've got some stems in the background.
Okay.
Alright, Roxy, lay down. She'll lay down. Reva will just be a chaos monster.
God, she's getting really bad. I'm gonna, tomorrow morning.
Got a runner?
Well, I don't know if I can run yet, but I will walk.
No, that's true.
We'll probably go for a walk tomorrow, because I would say every 20 minutes, she starts getting unruly, and she wants me to get off the couch and go wrestle with her.
Gotcha.
Or give her a treat.
Mm.
But
She'll take the treat.
But she's relentless.
She is. So I need to keep darkening. And in darkening, that's also going to pop these flowers out more. And the stems. Again, this is all background. I'm going to quickly look at my reference photo.
You wanted just to be with us.
Yeah, she just wanted to be with us. Alright, let's see here.
She says she's a professional working dog.
So, looking zoomed in, we can see that there's some light, but then we've also got some pretty good darks. And I need to get those darks really in there. See, we got some lights. But I need to make sure everything's blurred out. And if I put harsh outlines, they won't look blurry. So sometimes you just need to trust yourself and let go. Like right there, I burned a little too harsh. So what this will do is the same with the darks, is push me to go darker. So instead of it being an oops, it's a nope. That's what I meant to do. That's what I wanted to do. I just had to push myself. If you have a hard time not being able to go dark or not outlining, I do highly, highly recommend taking like a 5x7 or 4x6 piece of wood that you like to burn on, like, you know, basswood or birch, and actually just find something that you're interested in that gives you different dynamics, but you don't care if you mess it up in your head. I promise you won't mess it up, but you may feel that way. So I don't want to discount your feelings, but I promise you, you won't. And just practice. Just, you don't care if it looks bad. You don't care if you get it wrong. You don't care if nobody ever sees it. Because I promise, in doing that one little piece and practicing just your darks and pen speed and not outlining, you will see a big difference in your burning. It'll help you loosen up. And if you happen to have a perceived oops, you'll also learn how to fix it. And when you learn how to fix an oops, it also allows you to relax, because then you're like, I know how to fix it, so if it happens, I can keep going. And those three things, no outlines, adding more darks, and your pen control, you will see an immediate improvement in your burning. Because your brain will see how much of a difference it is. Again, this is for realism. If you're doing comics or something stylized, you should practice pulling or creating, you know, good outlines, because those will stand out because of the nature of the art.
Burl says the branch at the bottom looks like some kind of tiki idol.
Tiki idol.
I'm trying to see it, but she's
that branch at the bottom looks like some sort of, what, this one or down in here? Okay. 1, 2, or 3. That way it's easier for us to figure that out. Branch at the bottom. I got multiple branches at the bottom. Or are we talking about the stumps further down? Because I guess we could talk about the stumps. They have a lot of light hitting them. That's why they look...
She says the reference photo.
Alright. Are we talking first stump or the actual stems?
I think she's talking about there's like a stump that's like right next to the tree, and it kind of looks like it has a face.
Oh, I see it now. Yep, I see it. It's what she's talking about is, I'm gonna have to turn you guys a little.
Sven says he thinks he sees it too.
I can't get my camera down any further, so we're gonna go sideways. She's talking about this stump down here. I see it now.
Yeah.
I see it now. I'll never be able to unsee it. She does that to me on purpose. Every time.
This is the bane of being an artist.
She does it on purpose.
So as an artist, a lot of times we're focused on stuff, and then sometimes we unintentionally, not even do it subconsciously. It's just we don't see it, but then somebody else will come along and see it clearly, and sometimes that could be.
She did it on purpose.
A little frustrating. Not saying it's frustrating.
No, he did that
because that's funny.
Yeah. No, I see it totally now. Now, when I go to darken that, I will follow that exactly because my brain sees it now.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, it could be a help, not a. I don't want to say hindrance because it's not a hindrance. Distraction.
She says, "Yep, that one."
Okay, I see it now too. I see the face.
Yeah. But I think that that's also the benefit of having outside eyes.
Yes.
And I am guilty of this, where I want to do a piece of work and then do it start to finish and then get critique at the end. And I used to be of the mind that, okay, well, you know, I don't want critique in progress because it's not finished yet. But the thing is sometimes you need that critique in progress because sometimes stuff will happen that you don't see, and you need outside eyes to help. And it makes a difference, because if you do what I used to do, we'll get all the way to the end and then get it done, and then somebody is like, "Huh," the thing I always used to get is like, all my people look the same. Or, that was like a comment, like, or be like, "Oh, this looks like it's, this looks like this person is holding this thing, and it's supposed to be in the background or whatever." But then most of the time, it's too late because you've already finished the picture.
Yeah.
So,
although luckily with acrylics,
you can paint over.
Yeah.
But
with burning, it's a little harder.
I think with burning it, I think it's, and I would say with any artwork, I think it's important to have an extra set of eyes, and that's something that we do, that as a burning community, that can really help you. And it might be intimidating, because, if you put your, work up and say, "Hey, tell me what you see," and people are going to respond to that. People are going to be like, "I see this. I see a puppy, a kitty. I see a cloud, a duck." They're going to see all the things. But sometimes that feedback can be really useful. But you just have to be able to let go of your ego. Something I didn't used to be able to do.
Oh no, you became quite the cranky baby if I walked in your studio.
I'd be angry.
You would.
I would be angry because I'm like, here we go again. She's going to see something. I just know it. She's going to be like, And Valarie is...
I had to learn how to talk to him.
Valarie is quite a detail-oriented lady and artist.
No.
And so she'd be like, this line's off. And I'd be like, how do you know?
I measured twice.
And it's like, but she's right, and it's like, okay. But it's really important to have that. And unlike other disciplines where, it's not like you're making, putting together an engine or something. Like, if it runs, it's good, right? Is art. And you kind of need those multiple perspectives sometimes to ensure that the piece is coming across in the way that you want it to come across. And I would say the more critique that you have in the beginning, especially when you're building a structure of something, proportions and things like that. So even during like your, when you're putting together your reference or you're laying down your guidelines or whatever, it's important to get that feedback early on so that it doesn't become really painful later. Because if you're too deep into it, especially in pyrography, sometimes there's a point of no return. And if you can be hard. If you can't fix it, and it's an obvious thing that you overlooked because you were laser focused on some other portion of the work, you might have to start over, and that can be very frustrating, and that can make you not want to create art, because then, you're like, okay, I got to start. I was, 20 hours into this, now I got to start over, That could be soul crushing. So I would say it's really important to get that perspective. And you have to be able to defend your work, like if you have a concept and somebody is like, well, because sometimes people, not saying you do this, but some people will want to, say, oh, wouldn't it be better if this is over here, or I think that this would be better if this is this. And you have to be able to take that advice and say, would it be objectively, without your ego, as much as possible, and say,
which is hard,
which can be difficult, and say, maybe this would be, because maybe you've got something and there's like 5, we'll say there's 5 trees in it, but then somebody looks at it and says, maybe there should be 7 trees or 3 trees or something, or maybe it would be cool if this was over here like this, and we have to be able to take that criticism and that advice, and if it doesn't conflict with your
artistic vision,
it's worth considering, because if it's a good idea, it's a good idea. If it is something else, like if you're trying to create something that is, if you're trying to create a fantasy piece, and you have a friend who's really into steampunk or something, and is like, oh, wouldn't that be cool if the bear had a monocle and a top hat? No, it's not your vision. Good notes, but
well,
not.
you can just say, cool idea, maybe for the next one.
Maybe for the next
I see
one.
this one a little differently.
Yeah.
And then no hurt feelings.
Right,
and keep going.
But if your friend is like, hey, why is the bear looking in 2 different directions? That's good input.
Yeah. That needs to be evaluated.
Everybody's looking at the bear's eyes now.
Well, they can't see the eyes.
No. They are definitely looking in the same direction.
Yeah.
So I think, but it's still really important to get that feedback, and you have to, when you do that, especially if you're getting feedback from non-artist people, you have to be prepared for all kinds of advice.
Yeah.
But what you have to filter out is the advice or the critique that is related to the structure and proportions of your painting and the composition, as opposed to like theme and your overall artistic vision, like Valarie said.
And don't get a hurt feeling.
Yep.
If you ask somebody for their opinion, be open to hear it.
Yeah.
You may disagree. Totally cool. But don't get hurt feelings, because they'll never want to help you again. It's not worth it.
And I've gone back through my old sketchbooks, right? And I've gone through and seen oh my God, the proportions are way off here. But at the time, I didn't see it, and it's a sketchbook, it's whatever. But the point is that at that time, I thought that my proportions were accurate. I wasn't focusing on this particular part, and I think it's interesting to go back and see, hey, I was not as accurate as I thought I was. But I would say that if you are able to be open to feedback, especially in the earlier portions, the earlier phases of your work, I think that in general it will help make your work better. And especially if your critiques, if you keep getting the same feedback, for instance, I'm going to say eyes again, hey, I think that this person's eyes are too close together. If you get that over and over again, that's maybe something that you need to work on and practice, because it's really important to not try and fool yourself and say, well, this person has eyes that are closer together, and I intended to do that, because that's just letting yourself off the hook. If you want to get better, you got to be open to criticism.
Also check your outlines, because you may have them a little off or too dark.
Mm-hmm.
If you do outlines.
So Greg says, my wife is my other set of eyes. Most times she's right. Yeah, I would agree, Greg.
Oh, that's because she's wife.
Yeah. Dictionary, there's a thesaurus, wife, or not, what is the synonyms? No. Oh, God. I'm coming in the blank.
It's okay.
The book where you write...
Dictionary?
No, it's the other thing. Maybe it is the thesaurus.
It's the thesaurus, yeah.
you know.
And like Greg said, that's also why I start with the face, specifically the eyes.
Yes.
Because then if I screw it up, it's easy to sand back and retransfer my lines and do it again if it's that bad.
Yep.
And then I have it, so I spent an hour. It's not a big deal.
Burl says, I just send my stuff to Val. She tells me to burn darker.
Well, yeah, I've got an owl. He burned. He's burning an owl. I'm so proud of her. She's finally back to burning.
Who?
Burl.
Who?
I almost fell for it again.
Yeah.
Almost. Right now, while I'm doing this, I'm doing either up and down strokes with the grain, or I'm doing quick ovals, and I'm flat as I can get. So I'm sitting in a very uncomfortable position because this is so much further down.
In the back of a VW bug?
You're pretty damn close. I only have about that much room. But I'm trying to darken in areas, and then areas that are lighter, I'm trying to darken those too so that there's layers of this blurriness. But if I have these harsh outlines, I can't do that. I mean, we've got some stems so that I can just quickly draw some uneven, both in thickness, length, but also in tonal value so that they've got depth, versus this one. Now this one needed to be dark, but I still have some light areas so that it doesn't look so flat. And when you see me coming over here, I am pulling heat from my tip to come back over here flat and do some more burning. I'm not exactly like my reference because I'm trying to decide, do I want some more flowers? Do I want some of these flowers maybe a little pushed back but still lighter? Plus it's a little busy compared to our reference because some of these flowers do sit on top, so they're going to have white added. But I'm working on the very, very back where we see no detail at all. And so I'm just having my pen glide around, creating these. This is negative burning without outlines. Because if I put those outlines in, it's going to pop this right up equal to the tree. And I don't want that. That's with realism, there's always layers. Sometimes they may be hard to see, but they're always there. So I'm just lightly reshaping some stuff. Again, I'm flat, filling in some of the stems so they're not as obvious, but still lighter. And the more I do this and build it up, see, I can go right up against the tree where there I have some light graphite right here. I can go right up against it and I don't lose the edge. Now that can be harder if you've got two light areas. So say you've got white hair and you're not doing a dark background. I realize that could be harder, but even white hair is gonna have some darks to it, and that will help you. And that's when looking at a monochromatic photo, whether black or white, sepia, it could be all blue tones for that matter. It really doesn't matter the color. You just need the monochromatic aspect of it. You'll see the different layers better.
Earl wants to know if this is going to go in the wood carving show.
It is.
This year? Or next year, I mean?
Yep.
In a few days' time?
And well, end of February. Don't do that to me.
Okay.
I already looked at the date. It's the end of February.
I will be right back.
Okay.
We got about 20 minutes to go. I cannot wait.
Go for it.
Oh, I'm gonna go.
Go for it. He'll probably follow you out. So see, as I've been darkening around this flower, it's been popping out more. Now this one is a more detailed flower, so I can, you know, put some lines to kind of... We don't see every part of the stem or the leaves. Petals. That's the word I'm looking for. So I'm just kind of sketching them in. But that brings them further, and then when I go to add white, in fact, I can quickly do that. I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. I'm just doing enough so we can see. We'll see how much this pops out. I'm just trying to bring it out enough without going too crazy so that I have room. This is a white charcoal pencil. Generals is the only one I use because it doesn't have any wax in it, and I can clean out the board easier. And then I will use pan pastel white to better shape these flowers. But just putting that on without zooming in the camera, that flower started popping out. So if you're having a problem not outlining, I would say lay in a little bit of white for your lightest areas, and then you're less likely to also outline because now you know where these go and you're not going to lose them. Again, I'm not going all the way to the edge so that I have room. But it just makes it easier to not feel like I have to outline. Excuse me. I'm still trying to get over being sick. Yeah. There we go. So hopefully that popped it out a little bit more for you. Again, it'll be more than that. I just wanted to show you. Let's go back. Oops. I got a little rough there. I hit the grain. So what I'm going to do is darken around in some of this area around it. Make it look like it did it on purpose. Then I don't have to worry about it. It'll just go together. And then I don't have to do any sanding. And again, it'll blend. Let's see here. We're going to dark it down here. And I'm not going exact with the reference because one, I don't want to sit here and drive myself nuts. And with that, I would. And two, I've been working on this for, what, a year now? It's going to change from my reference photo. Let's put some of this out. These are a little bit more detailed. That's the only reason why. I'm going to go back flat again. I had added some extra stems and what have you. In here that I can push back because I kind of feel like I need to. Oh, I keep losing my reference. Let's look on there. So we got a flower that goes up. Whoop! I did not pull the heat from my pen at all. But you know what? I'm gonna look like I did it on purpose. I am gonna make this look like it's a dark flower that's coming in off screen. Just like this. And let's put another one over here. Kind of going in a different direction. Make sure you guys can see it. I know the light's kind of makes it a little harder. And so let's put a darker flower over here. Remember, we did it on purpose. Nobody will know unless you tell them. Let's bring this up and around a little bit. Bring the stem out. I mean, in the end, if I really, really don't like it, I'd sand it back. But I think it's going to work just fine. So, I'm not going to worry about it. Let's see here. Things feel more balanced when you do it in threes. Oops, sorry about that. That's my big ruler. I'm having to push myself back up into a position. I was sliding down my chair trying to get to the lower area. So let's put one blurry this way with the stem. I'm just using more of the tip to get a smaller, and I'm breaking up so that I can have some white flowers going over it. Alright. And let's bring this down. This is a total made up flower. But because it's blurry, it doesn't matter. Let's make this leaf a little bit bigger. Or petal, sorry. Make it a little bigger, have it come down a little bit. And let's pull some this way. Pull another stem down. So what you saw was me do an oops with too much temperature and turn that into something that works. So that I don't freak out. No reason to freak out.
Why are we freaking out?
I got this area too hot when I touched down. So I turned it into some really blurry background.
It's all ruined then. Sorry.
Don't help Burl. Don't help her. She's good all by herself. She don't need help.
Did you already answer her question about Tricol boards?
I did not.
Are they birch?
They are birch.
Greg wants to know, where did you purchase that large live wood?
I have it. This was, I bought this big old piece of basswood from a Wisconsin company that was at the Woodburner show 2 or 3 years ago. I have them linked down in the description. Oh shit, are we?
No.
Oh, my hand on the screen there. Oh, I was talking, I guess.
Yes. No,
my finger moved. Sorry about that.
No, I've been paying attention. Burl's in the chat.
I have it linked down below for the company. Can you hit where under the title it says more? Can you hit that? And then hit more in the description. I'm looking, and then slide up slowly because I'm looking for. It's from roughouts.com. I have it linked down in the description for you. It's right under the Optima. That's where I got this board. I would call them, one, to make sure they, have a size like this. For at the show, they were really well priced. I think I paid under $22 for this board. Where, of course, it's going to cost more online because of shipping and what have you. Plus, the economy. So I check out their website and see what their prices are at because I don't know right now. Let's put some thicker stems that kind of look ferny. without any kind of detail. And that just helps balance these guys off. Because I kind of have them a little too...
I just fed them because it was 1:45.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know if we're still going after this. So
We'll
give
see.
them time to go to the bathroom.
I'm pretty exhausted.
Right.
But I want to go. I'm trying.
Okay. If
I'm
not, we can
trying.
do it tomorrow.
Yeah. We may have to because this is a lot. See, I got them a little too samey. So I'm trying to like bring them together a little bit more. Kind of group them a little bit more. Change some direction. Let me pull out something here because it feels off. But as you can tell, I'm not freaking out. But I do need to change direction on one. How do I want to do this? Pull some heat. I'm going to come across. I'm just going to do it. I'm trying to break it up so it's not so samey. Put a light one on top. Kind of fade it out a bit. None of this is going to have any kind of white on it so that it doesn't stand out.
Bro wants to know what I'm working on. We're on getting better.
Yeah.
I haven't been in the studio, bro, in
weeks.
quite a while. I was working on some art for the game, and
then his gallbladder misspent and decided to go on a walkabout.
Mm-hmm.
Never to come back.
Yep, it's gone.
It is gone. It has left the building.
So I have not really yet returned to work, per se. I've been... Last couple days I've felt pretty good, and I am planning to get back in the studio today and tomorrow, but yeah, recovery from surgery was actually pretty good, but
Yeah.
but it did take a lot out of me for sure. So it's definitely unexpected. We got sick. It was a series of unfortunate events. I got sick. I got Val sick, and then and then the whole gallbladder thing. So, do I feel better without it, Spence? Actually, I really do. For the last couple years, I have been having this sensation of like having a grapefruit in my abdomen, and I just assumed that it was because I had gained weight, and I was working on getting rid of that, but it was just like always there. So much so that I had asked my doctor in my last annual checkup if there was a possibility that I had some sort of foreign object in there, and none of the tests came back to indicate anything like that. But it was really strange because I had kind of sometimes like a fluttering in my abdomen. It was almost like, if you could imagine the Alien movies, imagine it, getting an alien inside of you and then like not knowing that, but then feeling it moving around. That's kind of the sensation it was.
It's called pregnancy.
Kind of a flutter, and it was really weird. It was like, oh, do I have something in me? It was really strange, but all the tests came back negative, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm just overweight, and I'll keep working on it. But since they took out the gallbladder, I have not had that sensation, and so it must have been more of an impediment than I thought, and probably for longer than I thought. One of the other things that I've noticed is that I used to have persistent right shoulder pain, and I had always assumed that was because of where I carried my gear in the Army, that I had done some permanent damage. But since the gallbladder's been out, I've had zero pain there. And in our research, we found that there is a connected nerve path that a lot of times people with gallbladder issues have pain in their right shoulder, and it was persistent, and it was nothing seemed to work, and that's been going on for a long time. So
hit on that.
I would say that I feel much better. And it's really kind of crazy because I really have felt better than I have felt in years, despite the surgery pain. Like, I feel really good. So
I don't think they give you a weight on your gallbladder. It was pretty
no,
full.
I'm going to be meeting with the surgeon in a week or two, I guess, after the holidays. And I'm assuming I'll have some information then. But they did tell me, I did meet with one of the surgeons, and they said that they tried to take it out because it was laparoscopic surgery. They tried to take it out the normal way, and it was too inflamed and too full of rocks, of gallstones.
You full of something, huh?
Yeah, quiet, you.
I love you.
Love you too. Not a finger. So they had to remove. They had to empty it out. So I'm assuming, like a shop vac or something. They had to empty it out, and they had to pull it out through a different, wider incision because it was still too inflamed. So I'll find out more information.
It couldn't go through the belly button. It had to come from under the rib.
Yeah.
Its original location.
Yeah. So next time that I see an alien movie, I'm going to be seeing that in a whole different way. Because if that's the pain that they're feeling, I can relate to that now. My goodness, that was the worst pain I have ever felt in my life.
I had to call an ambulance because you're getting ready to pass out on the porch.
Yeah. I couldn't breathe. I felt like my diaphragm was just cramping up. Pain all through my back.
Worried that he was starting to have a heart attack.
Yeah, I checked my vitals because I was like, oh my God, is this the end,
Oh, hell no, I wouldn't
let
that happen.
My vitals were fine, except for, elevated blood pressure, but, everything else was steady, and we had no idea. They finally, when it was in the ER, they had done some imaging, and they caught the gallbladder inflammation on the imaging.
But it did show up in your liver enzyme blood work, and you also went Simpson yellow.
I did. I turned yellow. I don't.
He pulled a homer.
Yeah. And I've been wondering too, because my whole life I've had unexplained very high triglycerides.
Well, we'll see how that goes.
I'm wondering if my gallbladder has always been defective.
Let's see.
So
I'm backing out so I can see.
Rose says her pain was atypical. She thought she thought she was having a heart attack. Took a couple trips to the emergency room before they checked her gallbladder. Yeah. And I think
you got lucky.
I got lucky because they caught it on the imaging. They're like, "Hey, that's inflamed."
Yeah.
Because they were looking for other things, and yeah.
No, Spence. Not everybody turns yellow. It's just his liver enzymes were so high. He was over 200. I mean, and they could have been much higher, but he was actually over 250, and they're supposed to be around 10.
Yeah.
Or lower, and so because his liver was also inflamed, that's why he became jaundice.
Yeah, it's it's probably a little gross, but my urine,
oh gosh,
was dark Hefeweizen beer.
It was like this color.
It
was this tonal value.
Yeah, and
I was quite shocked.
Yeah. But all that resolved, and
unfortunately, our daughter-in-law went into the emergency room.
Yeah. The
same day. She is unfortunately still there.
Yeah, she's got a
whole
different thing
going on.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's gone. and could have been a more interesting story, but it's not. They just took it out. They were like, hey, we think this is the problem. We think that this is an emergency situation and we need it to be removed. And it was kind of like working on a car. They're like, can you sign off on this for us to remove this? And it's like, and I don't need it. And they're like, no, you'll be perfectly normal. And then the pain will go away. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, get it out. Get it out now.
And then it turns out it was my thyroid surgeon doing the surgery.
Right.
So at least we knew we could trust the surgeon because we already knew the surgeon.
Yeah.
That can be quite off-putting.
It can be.
You don't know the doctor.
Girl says, yeah, they did an ultrasound on her and found out it's gallbladder. So.
Yeah, they had done a CAT scan to check to make sure he didn't have any pulmonary embolisms, which is where they saw the top part of his liver and gallbladder being inflamed. So they ordered an ultrasound to further check. Alright, I'm still trying to bring in more darks, but I hope compared to how we started, you can see a bit of difference. I see too much pattern that I don't want, so I'll break it up so that it's not so heavily, because it's all going this way, which is fine because that, draws our eye visually to the bear as well. It's one more help, but I feel like it's a little too much, so I need to push back and kind of blur out with other things so it's not so in your face. And then I will take my eraser and I will erase more. There's not too much graphite. There's more graphite down here towards the bottom. But I will pull out more of the graphite and I will wipe down with denatured alcohol to help remove the more graphite and eraser gunk remnants, because it can start coating the wood if you're erasing a lot. And if you find you're having to turn your wood burner up to get a similar burn, 1, clean your tip, and then 2, if you've done a lot of erasing, check by wiping down the board. If you're in a place to wipe down, meaning you've already blocked in an area, you don't have to wipe the whole board, just the one section of the board, and you'll feel your pen move better across the wood because you've gotten the eraser remnants off and any oil from your hand, especially if you use lotion. I highly recommend washing your hands first before you start burning, so you don't get that oil. But when you wipe off with denatured alcohol, the wood will feel almost softer. That's the only way I can really, at least it does to me as I'm burning.
Super. Oh, Andrea.
Hey, Andrea. We're missing you.
We're almost done.
We are.
Actually, we're past time.
Oh. Well, I needed to give space for Andrea.
Okay. Well, it's your world. I'm just living in it.
That's all you can do.
That's why I'm the hubcap.
Yeah, but hubcaps are meant to be the pretty add-ons, so that's what you are.
Right, and then
pretty add-on.
I don't know, because the hubcap fell off the car, and then it stopped everything. That's not supposed to happen.
That was 2 weeks ago.
A hubcap is not supposed to stop the operation of a car. It's just decorative.
No, you're more than decorative.
Mm.
Although you are my eye candy.
Oh, thank you.
My arm candy.
I don't know.
Alright, so I will keep darkening this, but hopefully you can see a difference from where we started. Let me see. I want to check. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly find the photo from when we started the live today. That is, if I can read my screen. Oh, there we go. My eyes are a little blurry because I've been focused. I gotta find it. There we go. Almost there. And boom, boom, boom. What I'm showing you is where we started from. In the hopes, this is an unadjusted photo. So that's why it's got the edge. I can't really. Just make it a little smaller. What we're looking at is we're looking at this area to see if it's starting to like push back. If it's getting a little darker. Oops. This thing got caught on the grain. I'm not gonna freak out. I thought I'd pulled enough heat. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it across this way. It really isn't going to matter. The bear is the focus. So it really doesn't matter that it's a little more textured right there. So I'm not going to stress about it. If you find that you freak out a bunch, just deep breath. What is the worst that can happen? Maybe you really can't stand looking at it and you have to start over. That is the worst thing that can happen. Well, I guess technically the worst thing would be falling asleep and burning a hole in your wood, starting a fire and having... That's the worst thing that can happen. But we're not doing that. So we don't have to worry about that. And my brain just went on its own.
Greg says if you have a few dark blobs, the alcohol will soften the wood for easier removal.
Well, I could also do a bit of erasing, because if there's because there's going to be some carbon on top, I can erase as well. Just a regular eraser, and it will also lighten it up because it's just pulling the top layer of the carbon, which is probably doing the same thing as what Greg mentioned with the alcohol. I think that's the same thing. And if you're going to use alcohol, methylated spirits, denatured alcohol is what you really want to use if you can get a hold of it, because it has an extremely low water count and will stop from raising the grain. So that's another little trick. I'm trying to bring this. I don't care if I get the shape in the background right. But if you notice, this is starting to stand out more. I do need to pull. Some of this is a little... I need to break it off. Bring it together. Too many lines that are even. I don't want the even lines. I don't want all these lines, because then it looks too uniform, and I don't want it to be uniform. But as I add white in certain areas, it will also not look as uniform. Let's pull this up. Like this is a grain, and we discussed that on Burning Darker a couple of weeks ago. But I'm going to keep pushing this back that way it feels and looks realistic. That's why if I would... Oh, let me pop that photo off. I just wanted to show the difference from where we started to where we are now. The lighting is slightly different, so that's going to shift it. Let's see here. Let's pull this up, angle it down to try to cut the light. But we can really see how this looks a little, at least a little closer to that. I'm going to cut my light. There we go. There we go. You're not seeing the contrast completely the way it is, but we're seeing how this allowed.
Spence says it's looking good.
Thank you. I still have so much more darks to do. Oh, good. Andrea said she's going to watch after we're over.
See, sometimes I have to look over at your screen because there's this heart emoji that blocks words,
what's going on.
And sometimes it's a key word that I have to wait till the chat moves up, so I have to look on your screen.
Let me see if I can bump up the contrast a little bit so we can have a better idea. Because I have to like lighten so that you guys can see it better. There we go. I'm trying to get it as close to what it is in person. It's not going to be the color, but of the wood isn't going to be. I'm just trying to get. See how it doesn't show up as well on camera if I push the brightness down to what it is similar in my studio. But you can better see what we've put in and what needs to break up. Like, let's see here. Right here. Right here. I need to break up those lines, bring some more stuff in, but leave some light areas so it still looks like there's flowers in the background. They're just not in our face because we have these lighter ones right here. Let's see, I put some white here, here. Alrighty, definitely need to darken, what I've done here, down here. I just couldn't like fully get my body down here, and all this needs to go darker, but definitely I'm going to work on that tiki face now that Burl pointed it out. And we can better see the edge of the tree. There's a highlight hitting. If I outline this, it's just going to make that highlight look unnatural along with the tree. So if you have to do outlines, there's not really an area that I can do it on. That
Spence says, and I have a commercial. Sorry, Spence.
I know, I'm sorry. It's just so I mean, we're like 300 subscribers away from 9,000 subscribers, and because I haven't uploaded any regular videos in a long while, it's definitely hurt the channel. So it's the only way I can. But you get spoiled because with the super, I know, it's the wood.
Burl says, I used to have one of those for my soldering iron when I did stained glass. Spence said.
On what?
I don't know.
Used to have.
Spence says, is that red and silver thing holding your pen? Oh, that's a
soldering yes.
gun holder.
Actually, yes. This was for my stained glass soldering iron. And then I bought a second one because it just makes me... Yes, this is when I was doing stained glass. This was my holder. Hi, Daniel.
Yeah, I didn't read that.
Good to see you. But we were just about to leave.
Do you know who Danielle is? Or is it Daniel? Danielle.
Danielle. I see. LLE.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I really like these to hold my pens. Yep. These are... Let's see here. That's a hot pen. Let me turn this off. Needed dust, but... Ugh. Yes, this is a heavyweight... Oh, I got a pen tip. I could feel the metal. There we go. It's a heavyweight steel. Could do do a workout with it if you wanted to. I need to tighten up my screw. My screw's loose.
No comment.
Oh, fellow lupus warrior, it has been a while.
Oh wow.
It has. So
Yep, that is a good tool to have.
I'm gonna make noise. Watch. I'm gonna drop it from right here, so just so you can hear how sturdy it is. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Oh, I can make more noise.
Stop it.
Oh.
So that is a very good safety tool because it isolates the hot pin from the environment and things flammable, and it's also very heavy, like she's just demonstrated. So it's not.
You do have to be careful because a pin can go through depending on how much. See.
Less likely to be knocked over.
But I pushed it through. But let me push this one up.
I'm sure that we could alter it a little bit so that it wouldn't push.
Yeah.
Just put a little piece of metal through so that it just blocked it.
So you do need to be careful, but it does stop, so it doesn't hit my counter.
Burl says the sound has a lag.
Ah, that's true. But yeah, it's on my Amazon page. I need to look to see if they still have them. So, because you're in Canada, you need to copy and paste the name of it and see if you guys got it up there. But they are iron or steel. Definitely worth it. I feel much safer with them than I do any plastic holder, and that's for any wood burning pin. You do need to be careful putting the pin in because it has 2 layers inside. My pin is off now, so it's cool. It has this part, and so the pin can catch, but it does block it from catching on here. As long as you just, I have 2. This part's thicker, so this won't go down. But it's not going down there. Look at me. It might go down the other one. Anyway, definitely worth it. And a workout. Alrighty. So next week, I have no idea what we're going to do next week. Because I really need to get this guy done. Oops. This lady done. For the show. I want to do a varnish live, but we've gotten really cold, so trying to varnish when it's cold can be an issue. That's why I didn't go ahead and do that.
That's your
I think I'll just find a subject to talk about and we'll keep working. Just like we were discussing why I don't outline. And again, if you missed earlier, this is my very first burning with all the outlines. This is done 20 years ago.
Okay, that answered my question.
20 years ago.
Oh, there's 2 bones here. I'll take those out.
Oh, yeah.
I had to confiscate
And
these.
I stopped outlining in 2012. If you must outline, I highly recommend going as light as possible so that you can work it into your burning and it doesn't stand out. Because when I look at somebody else's burning, it's just what my brain and eye goes to first, is I look for outlines. And then I look at tonal value.
Spence says Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes.
Paul says the best to everyone in the new year.
Put out the vibes that 2026 is going to be good.
Yeah. At least
for all humanity.
Yes. And at least
we'll leave it at that.
For us, better than 2025.
Oh, no doubt. 2025 was one hell of a year. One hell, and it's over tomorrow.
Yeah.
2026.
Woo.
And we're still not with the Jetsons.
We made it, baby. No, we're not. We have some flying cars, but they're not safe yet.
Yeah, I don't trust people with flying cars.
No.
No, I want to do a Star Trek thing where you could be in one location and then be in another location. That's what I want.
Yeah, that would be cool.
No flying cars. Don't need them. Don't trust people with those. Alright, kiddos, you know what to say with me. You're awesome. You can do this. Why? Because you're a pyro artist. Happy burning, guys. Bye-bye, 2025.
Bye, 25.
Hello, 2026. Happy New